Hey you guys, welcome back. So I wanted to talk to y'all about some things that might kind of seem woo-woo and esoteric, but just stay with me, okay? This is for my newer witches, which is basically the bulk of my audience, because I've told y'all before, that's my target audience because I don't want y'all to make the mistakes that I did. And something that's very healing for me has been spreading this knowledge that I learned the hard way so that you guys can take it and either stop making those mistakes or not make them at all and still grow along the way. Because don't get me wrong, my mistakes have made me grow a lot very quickly, but it also came with a lot of sharp edges, you know. But anytime that you're doing any type of spell, your energetic state is very important. But in this episode, we're going to be talking about protection work, reversal, spiritual warfare, boundary setting, anything where you are energetically standing up for yourself or someone or something else. And this is very important because number one, protection work is non-negotiable. The same way that you lock your doors at night, I hope, the same way that you lock your car, have a security system, maybe have some pew-pews, you still have to protect yourself energetically and spiritually, right? But as a newer witch, you're going to encounter people along the way who will see your power and, more importantly, your potential of what you can do with that power, and they're going to try to test you. Some of these people will be muggles, which means basically a non-practitioner that just want to mess with you. And some of them will be practitioners. Some of them will even call themselves elders. Right? And they'll try to mess with you and test your power. And especially if you're like me, when I first started, like I was 21, 22 when I got on this path, right? That's a young woman. I was in my young adulthood. And so with that comes a lot of vitality. And you're like in the spiritual realm, you're kind of like a baby. And a lot of people see you as easy prey. And also deeper than that, and more sinister than that, a lot of people will see you as a life force energy source. And a lot of these people that will try to go to war with you and will seek out war with you are doing it from an energetic vampire standpoint. Okay? Spiritual warfare and how to navigate it is not something that's learned overnight. And it's going, like, the different tactics and methods and approaches that work for you is going to vary from person to person. I will say this as a divine feminine woman. The way that the feminine approaches spiritual warfare, the way that the divine feminine approaches spiritual warfare is much different than the toxic masculine and even the divine masculine. And part of that does involve cultivating your own healthy inner masculine energy. But what I've noticed is a lot of newer witches get kind of wrapped up in the warfare. And that's where they'll start playing like what I call brujeria ping pong with these assholes. They'll go toe to toe. They'll go curse for curse, hex for hex, whatever. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to dark work. Okay? I haven't cursed someone in my personal practice since 2022. But I'm not opposed to it. There's a time and a place for it. And I'm the type, I got a list, baby. Please, if you know you have terribly betrayed me, wronged me, hurt me, tried to unalive me, plotted against me, stolen from me, energetically, financially, and otherwise, please don't think you're safe. You're not. Anyway, moving on. There's a time and a place for it. Okay? But these people that are these energy vampires I'm speaking of are the ones that want you to go hex for hex and curse for curse because you don't know any better. Alright? There was a time, probably the first 5-6 years of my practice, where I did reversals and return to senders on a regular basis. It was part of my spiritual maintenance because the elder that taught me that taught me to have it as part of my spiritual maintenance. My titi. Right? By the way, y'all, just a disclaimer. When y'all hear me talk about these 2 elders in my past that really, really did me dirty, tried to unalive me, tried to siphon from me, destiny swap, my titi and my godparents that I have now and that I've had for 4 years are not included in those shitty elders. Okay, just so y'all know. But anyway, I was taught to use reversal work and return to sender work as a spiritual maintenance tool. And the way that my TTA explained it was, it's like an insurance policy. Right? Same concept. If the person hasn't been sending you bad vibes, evil eye, maldiojo, spell work, curses, hexes, bindings, whatever, they don't get hit. But just in case, that energetic insurance policy is there. And they'll get theirs. And I think it was part of my growth. I had to learn how to stand up for myself and say, no, fuck you. I'm not holding your bullshit. You can have it back times 10. And I had to, have that spell work in my arsenal to develop that inner authority, right? And strengthen my energy and my soul, my spirit, and my aura. But now on year 7, I'm not saying I don't do it. But I'm not nearly as worried about it anymore. If somebody tries to work me, I remove it and I move on. I'm not going toe to toe. You know? And I've I had to cleanse myself and protect myself so many times that now it's just second nature. And it's a lot easier. And I also, it's because I've done it so many times, y'all. It's as natural to me as showering or washing my body or shaving or shampooing my hair or washing dishes. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take as much effort anymore. And it's not nearly as lengthy of a process. So now if someone does try to work me, I've got a billion different ways in my arsenal that I know how to remove it. And I move on. But I had to get there. So that's why, even though reversal, and I'm just using the reversal as an example, that's why even though me personally on year 7, I don't do it that often, I still teach you guys in my courses that are focused on cleansing and protection, whatever, how to do it as a beginner, because I think it's important. But the reason I'm saying that is going back to what I said in the beginning about your frequency, your energetic state, and your embodiment when you're doing any type of spell, but specifically protection work. I see a lot of witches that go toe-to-toe with other practitioners all the time and just get sucked into an energetic minefield and mess. And number 2, they walk around, when they learn all these different spiritual protection techniques, they start walking around very hardened, very energetically dense and tight. And as a feminine woman, that's not good for you to be in that state for a long time or very often. It's just not good for us. So if anyone is bringing that warrior aspect out of you on a chronic basis, I invite you to remove yourself from them. And if it's someone that you're not interacting with on a physical day-to-day basis, just remove them. Block them on the internet, whatever. But your energetic state matters. Because now, don't get me wrong, I can get triggered and I can jump up and get ready to go to war in about 10 seconds. It's not a hard switch for me. Right? To go into warrior mode, it's nothing. But because I know that I can jump into that mode quickly, because I've had these 7 years of warfare in practice, and I'm a huntress by nature, aka I have ADHD, that's the huntress gene, right? I don't have to walk around the other 98% of the time being hardened and like a brute. And dare I say, overly masculine. And I talked about this in an episode maybe, 6 months ago, September-ish. When I do have to jump into my masculine mode, when I am being threatened and someone is trying to come up against me and harm me in some way, a weapon that I use to my benefit as a huntress is speed. If we're talking from a spiritual lens and I gotta do something, I do it quick, not in a rushed, chaotic way, but in an efficient, momentum, focused, driven way, and I do what I gotta do, and I complete the trabajo, and then I move on to the next thing. And I go on about my day. I'm not gonna be doing 15 fucking ensadas. 15 fucking trabajos on one motherfucker. I'm just, pardon my language. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting fired up. I'm just not. You can kiss my ass. But also, I've been on this path for 7 years. I know the strength of my ache, of my magic, right? I don't have to do 15 trabajos on somebody. One is enough. And even then, I have a heavy hand. But that energetic state that I'm in when I'm doing that protection work, even if someone is trying to come up against me, it's still very grounded. It is more masculine, but it's not so low level. Okay? And the overall basis of this message is you're going to make mistakes on your path. And as the feminine, people are going to try to test you. People try to test women at every turn, practitioner or not, spiritual woman or not, witch or not. It just comes with the territory. Okay? And it's annoying. I get it. I'm a woman too. I got to deal with it too every fucking day. And I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I'm still at 28, almost 29 years old. Even though I am an old soul, I'm still healing and I'm still making peace with all the BS that I've gone through. But one positive thing it has given me is there's certain things now I just don't even trip over. I don't. I let it go and I move on, or I don't let it bother me in the first place. There's other things that bother me more deeply. And there's, like, if you want to become, I guess you could say, a spiritual warrior, you gotta have priorities. Let me be very clear, and God bless my godparents for teaching me this. Not just from their verbal teachings, but their embodiment and how they approach their spirituality and how they live their lives, right? You have to have priorities as a spiritual warrior. If you're somebody that just wants to throw work at people, and throw work, if you're new here, it just means do spell work against people, right? If you're just somebody that just wants to throw work at everything, for everybody, for every reason, because somebody cut you off in traffic, or looked at you dirty, that doesn't make you a spiritual warrior. That's a sloppy version of a spiritual warrior. Because let me tell y'all what happens. These people that throw at everybody that throws at them and go to war against everybody that doesn't like them or speaks negatively about them, just very petty human things that we all deal with, they want to go to war over. Over time, they deplete their life force energy. And they're also heavily disrupting their nervous system, because you are allowing your nervous system to get activated by every little thing that tries to come at you. And so it just wrecks not just your spiritual path and your spirituality, but your body. And if you're in enough of an angry, irritable, hateful, low-level state, that's when they get possessed. Because they want to go to war over everything. And half of them, that's probably why they got into spirituality, to go to war over everything. It's like, if you want to go to war that goddamn bad, go be a fucking Marine if you even make the cut, you SOB. If you want to be in warfare that bad, put your bootstraps on and go to the Middle East. I don't even think we have any active wars right now, but go enlist. Be in the National Guard or the Reserves or something at least. Goddamn. Instead of sitting in front of a bunch of pots all day stirring up shit over nothing. That doesn't fucking matter. I'm telling all these things because as newer witches, you might not see all this yet. I know I didn't. The types of people that I've encountered along the way, I didn't encounter until year 3 or 4. But they exist. Don't become them. Have emotional regulation. I'm not telling you not to curse somebody if you've been SA'd, or your child, God forbid, has been SA'd, or someone has stolen from you, or cheated on you and betrayed you and, just really done you dirty. Do what you gotta do. But for me, the way that I've evolved, now, unless you are an active threat to me or those I care about, I don't give a fuck about you. And having that mentality does something very sacred for me. It saves up my life force energy, which is my magic, right? My spiritual prowess and power. Because when that moment comes, when I gotta go to war, I'm prepared. I'll unalive us both. I don't give a fuck. I will fight to the death to protect me or those I care about, and I don't give a fuck. So when I gotta go to war, I'm energized, I'm charged up, I'm at 100%. Because I don't waste it on silly bullshit. So when I gotta go there, I'll go all the way, and I don't care. That's the proper way to be. Not saying I'm an elder or an expert by any means, but being this way and being selective on my battles and choosing my battles, because girl, trust and believe, people have tried to rope me into battle and war. And they were all people from my past that I left, that I cut off and cut out of my life. And so they would seek war with me and try to get reactions out of me, because that was the only interaction they had a chance of getting from me. And to them, because these were psychopaths and sociopaths, and their sick, twisted ass psychopathic mind, any attention is better than no attention. In their mind, any publicity is good publicity. Good attention, bad attention. They just wanted a reaction out of me. Or for me to throw back or whatever. Because I had cut them out. And these were energy vampires. So they wanted my energy in any way that they could get it. And they tried this relentlessly for years. Everything that I learned along that journey, I have poured into this destiny swapping course that I'm coming out with on June 16th. That's why it has the higher price point, because you are getting years worth of knowledge in one course, avoiding many mistakes along the way. And if you are dealing with this, learning how to navigate it, and it's knowledge that I've learned with blood, sweat, pain, suffering, and tears. And these courses of mine, all of them are 100% spirit-led. And I remember going to one of my spirits the other night to, talk to them about it, because I always make sure it's okay with them and what I should be doing. I try to stay in alignment as much as absolutely possible. I'm a Capricorn moon. I kind of have OCD about that. But anyway, they were like, girl, make this a higher price point course. And y'all want to know what they told me, what that muerto told me? The knowledge that I'm going to be giving to y'all in this course, truthfully, if you want to put a price point on it, it's probably at least $100,000. Because let me tell you something, going through all that shit and being put through what I was put through when I made it out of, which a lot of people don't, I lost, was stolen from, missed out on, was blocked from at least $100,000 over the years. The main person that tried to do it to me in the spiritual realm, he owes me at least $100,000. Like, if there was a way to quantify it truly and sue his ass for all this shit that he tried to do to me, I'd have rights to at least $100,000. And I didn't ask my spirits this question of how to truly quantify it. That muerto told me that voluntarily. And he's right. And that muerto has been with me forever. He's seen the whole thing. And this system that I'm going to give y'all in this destiny swapping course is invaluable. So if you want to learn more about that, go to sirensnectar.com/destiny. Afterpay is available at checkout. And if you would like to book a session with me or a reading, go to sirensnectar.com/booking. I also have a selection of PDFs, little ebooks or miniature ebooks written by me. You can check those out at sirensnectar.com/PDF. Okay, I love y'all very much. I hope y'all got the gist of this transmission. It had a lot of twists and turns, but it was good. I'm happy with it. Okay, I love you. Bye.